Hi everyone, my name is Ambrosia Sayed. I am head nutritionist and lifestyle expert at Lucatino Holistic Healing Systems. We all know today's topic. It's on how to work on reducing the belly fat, and I think it's one of the biggest concern almost everyone faces. And it's not just people with high fat percentage, but even thin people will have issues with belly fat. Okay, so it's a major concern, and of course, that's one of the reason I've selected the topic. And moreover, I want to start saying that belly fat is not, any other part. Like it's part of your body, so everything right that you do for your system will automatically help in that area as well. And another thing is, many people, because they want to, as belly fat is one of the major concerns, because they want to lose that weight, they end up doing wrong things. They end up doing fat diets, keto diets, and other diets which may not be, it may give result, but it's not very good in the long run. At the same time, instead of doing good, some people even harm their system. Okay, so in the process of losing belly fat specifically, don't fall into fat diets, don't fall into wrong things, because in the long run it may get very difficult for you. If not difficult, whatever you've lost or whatever in terms of weight, if you've lost or something, it will all come back. Okay, so be very careful of what you plan to do for belly fat when you think about belly fat reduction. Okay, so talking about that, I'm going to cover the first thing that we should be looking at in terms of reducing your belly fat is Kapalbhati. Okay, now one thing we need to understand, that belly fat is part of your own body, and the fat around it is part of your body. So when you're going to help in terms of activating that abdominal area more and more, it will automatically help in reducing the belly fat. So when it comes to exercises, one is focus on exercises which activates your core muscles more, because that will naturally increase the circulation in that belly fat area. And second, as I talked about, Kapalbhati. Now, Kapalbhati is a beautiful technique. It's a breathing technique. It's not a pranayam. It's a breathing technique which helps in terms of detoxifying and cleansing your system. But since it is cleansing your system, there is a particular movement that happens. When we do Kapalbhati, there is forceful exhalation. So you're like forcefully exhaling out as you breathe. In that process, your abdominal muscles are moved forcefully up and down continuously, which leads to increase in circulation around that area, and that's going to help in terms of reducing the belly fat. Okay, so look into core exercises, look into strengthening exercises, but at the same time, you can do this beautiful Kapalbhati technique, which will also help in terms of reducing your belly fat. The second point is about empty calories. When I talk about empty calories, it is something which doesn't have any nutrients or minimal nutrients. Okay, so something like alcohol, something like sugar, something like your candies, your pastries, then the refined food, of course the aerated beverages. They all contain empty calories. Okay, the problem with the empty calories is that for example, when it comes to aerated beverages, it will have just calories and no nutrients, and that's the problem with it. Like even if you have your home cooked biryani, or if you eat something which is not on the healthier side but made at home with vegetables and other things, it will still have some nutrients in it. But empty calories like alcohol, aerated beverages, these refined bread, sugar, the mithais, and so much more, they have zero nutrients actually, zero to minimal nutrients, and very high in calories, which is the problem. And when the calories are so high, when the energy content that you are having is so high, your body cannot use all of it. It has to get stored somewhere in the body, and because this is like an easy area to store, it will get stored over there. Okay, so having said that about empty calories, that we should be avoiding it, it is also important to avoid it majorly in the second half of the day, especially in the night time. Okay, so when you have these heavy calories, caloric food, like your refined carbs, so many aerated beverages, heavy on alcohol as well, so much of energy is ultimately going to store in your system. Because if you have such heavy food in the daytime, you still are going to do some chores or some activity or some movement. The body can utilize that energy. But in the night time, maximum you can do is move around the house, and ultimately you're going to sleep, and that energy will get stored in your body. So it's not just the empty calories, it's the time at which you place it is also very important. So allowing, even if you know that you had something extra, make sure you know that you have to work out a bit more. You have to go for a walk after it, or you have to alkalize immediately after that. Or if even if there are many people who, if they do something wrong in one part of the day, they feel the day is gone and they can't make up for it. It's not like that. You can always make up for it by making the next meal right. So if you know something has gone wrong this particular day, make it right in the second meal or the next day at least. So keep working on that and try to avoid heavy meals in the second half of the day if you want to work on reducing belly fat. Okay, that brings me to my other point, which is intermittent fasting. Again, the reason people lose fat and of course the belly fat as well in intermittent fasting, because they're not loading their system with lot of calories and lot of food in the second half of the day. There is a period of fasting in that, and there is a period where they can eat. Okay, so although they will not sleep very early, but they will still have a early dinner, which gives the body time to rest, relax, digest, metabolize. So by the time you're asleep, your body is only focused on detoxification. Okay, so intermittent fasting, again, very, very good. You don't have to do it every single day of the week, but at least plan it 1 or 2 days every time if you're looking in terms of reducing your belly fat. And you don't have to do fasting. You can always start, having early dinners as a regular thing for you. It should not be intermittent fasting wherein you have an early dinner. It could be like a regular practice where you start having early dinners. Um, so yes, intermittent fasting will also help in terms of reducing belly fat. And the other point, it will, my session will not get done if I don't talk about it, is mindful eating. Because mindful eating is extremely, extremely important. Even if you're eating the most unhealthy food, but we eating with the right intention, with the right energy, with so much of positivity, your body will take it in, metabolize, digest, and take it out. Okay, so be very mindful when you're eating. Remember, the food in front of you is giving you life. It is the reason you're surviving. It's the reason you're living, right? So it deserves some attention. So be very mindful when you're eating. Focus on your chewing, focus on the plate that you're having, make it as colorful as possible, give time, don't be in a rush when you're eating. And of course, gadgets can be kept away. Even televisions can be switched off. If you really want something around you, the maximum is music, which you can play around you, but be more and more focused on the food and be very mindful. When I say mindful eating, there is a scientific reason also, because if you're mindful, the right digestive enzymes will be produced in your gut. The acid secretion which happens in your gut will be optimal to digest the food. So these are the main reasons, when if you're eating something which is healthy or unhealthy, your body will process it better. And since it is processed better, the absorption is better, the metabolism is better, automatically it will not get stored. Your body will utilize that energy and give you to do any necessary activities. So if you don't want the fat to get stored in your body, you need to work on mindful eating as well, not just for the intention purpose, but also for digestive purpose, which will help in terms of cutting down your fat. Okay. Uh, just one point, which is, with regards to mindful eating is, whenever you go out also, always select, minor portions, and, don't go for buffet options. Don't go for, huge menus where, there is, varieties of main course, varieties of, dessert and all. Stick to very limited things, because the more you have it, the more problematic it is. Okay. So keep your options, very clean and limited. Even if you go out and if you want to have something, have it with very good intention, but at the same time, it's going to make your system acidic. Come back home and alkalize with lemon water, alkalize with cumin water, jeera water, so you have made up for it. Okay, so yeah, my last point covers all the food which are very good in terms of activating your metabolic rate. So certain foods that you can include on a regular basis, which will help in terms of fat metabolism, and it will also help in terms of cutting down your belly fat. Okay, so the first product is cayenne pepper. So cayenne pepper is a type of chili. It is very, very good in terms of increasing your metabolic rate. So a pinch of that or 1/4 teaspoon of that in warm water, you can have it on a regular basis to increase your metabolic rate and help in cutting down the belly fat. Okay, it is also very rich in vitamin C. It has capsaicin, which is a very powerful antioxidant, which also helps in cutting down the fat. And if you add cayenne pepper, it also acts like an appetite suppressant. So do use cayenne pepper in your, while making any food, or in just in plain water, you can have and drink it on a regular basis. The second point is green tea. I've read about green tea somewhere very recently, a very funny thing that if you really want to lose fat or weight with green tea, you have to literally climb the mountain, take the green tea and make the green tea and then have it. But it's not true, because people assume that, they'll be very comfortable sitting on a chair, doing nothing and have their green tea and expect the body to metabolize all the fat and lose weight. It's not going to happen. So if you do everything right, which I mentioned, the Kapalbhati, the workout, the when I say mindful eating, if you do everything else right, and then if you have green tea, and that's when it's gonna help you. So it's not just one thing that is gonna help. There's a lot of things which, when we bring it together, is gonna help in terms of cutting belly fat. So yes, green tea has rich polyphenols. It has some amount of caffeine also. So it will definitely help in terms of bringing a kick to your metabolism, and that's going to help in terms of burning the excess fat, at the same time reducing your belly fat. The other thing is a very common product. It's known as kokum. It's found, in Bombay and every other part as well. And if you see kokum, the original name, the scientific name of kokum is Garcinia, and Garcinia you'll find on every bottle which is related to weight reduction. So if you see a bottle which says that, supplement rather, which says that, this supplement helps in weight reduction, check the ingredients. It will have Garcinia in it. Now, Garcinia is, generally it's kokum, and you can use it on a regular basis to work on cutting down your belly fat. It also helps in reducing appetite. So if you are a person who somehow you end up eating too much, you may want to add kokum drink, half an hour before your lunch and dinner, to see if that helps in terms of reducing your appetite. Okay, so include kokum. All you have to do is take about 1 or 2 florets of kokum, soak it in water, blend it in a glass of water, and then just drink it. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So make use of natural kokum on a regular basis. In the south, we usually get those soul curries and all, which also has kokum. Even in curries and all, like the fish curry, chicken curry, or even the veg curries, many people use kokum for flavoring and for that tanginess. Make use of that, but at the same time, you can use it separately as well if you want to work on reducing your belly fat. The other thing is, citrus fruit. So when it comes to fruits, if you're looking in terms of fat metabolism, add good amount of citrus fruits. When I say citrus fruit, it could be oranges, it could be lemon, it could be sweet lime. You can also look at kiwi and so much more. So add the citrus variety, because citrus variety is very rich in vitamin A and C, which are very good activators of your liver, and it will help in terms of fat metabolism. Lastly, your coconut oil. Coconut oil, again, it's an oil and it's going to help in fat metabolism. Sounds very vague, but coconut oil has MCTs, and MCTs provide instant energy. It will just be taken up from your gut and give, energy will be given to you, for necessary action. So it's always important. It's very important to add coconut oil, because coconut oil also helps in absorption of right vitamins. When it comes to vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, all will be absorbed better if there is good amount of fat in your system, or the right fat in your system. So it's not just coconut oil. You can add coconut oil on a regular basis, but also look at omega-3 rich oils, which is the flaxseed oil. It can be used on your salad dressings. When it comes to olive oil, again, can be used on your salad dressing. Ghee, again, very, very good fat. You can use it, on your parathas. If you can put some of it on your dal as well. Very good in terms of improving nutrient absorption as well. Okay, so these are the points. But apart from this, you can also add apple cider vinegar on a regular basis if you want to cut down the belly fat. Probiotics, which is the active culture, the curd, the buttermilk, the any fermented product, even when it comes to dosa batters and all, any fermented product will have good amount of pro and prebiotics. So do include them on the regular basis if you want to cut down your fat. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up quickly of what all I've covered. So, firstly, it is a Kapalbhati. Do Kapalbhati along with the core exercises and strengthening training, because all you got to do is activate the belly fat area as much as possible. So the circulation is more over there, and it will help in terms of cutting down the belly fat. Okay, avoid eating empty calories. And when I say empty calories, it's alcohol, refined food, even the aerated beverages and so much more. Avoid it, and specifically in the second half of the day. You can also look into having early dinners. So early dinners, or you can plan intermittent fasting on a regular basis, which will also help in cutting down the belly fat. Okay, mindful eating, very, very important for the right digestive enzyme to be secreted, for the right acids to be secreted, and for absorption and assimilation of the right products, which will again help in terms of cutting down the belly fat. Lastly, the metabolic activators are the cayenne pepper. Please add those regularly. Uh, Green tea, there is kokum, there is citrus fruits, there is coconut oil, there's flaxseed oil, there's flax seeds, and of course, apple cider vinegar and your probiotics. So include all these, because all these are natural metabolic activators if you want to look at cutting down the belly fat. So yes, I've completed my topic, and if you all have any questions, you all can post it in the chat.
Okay, we do have a lot of questions that have come in, but Ambrosia, those were really great pointers for us to take back. So thank you for sharing that. The first question that's come up is, how do we differentiate between bloating and belly fat?
It's very easy because it will come and go. It won't stay forever. And one very interesting, like one very quick remedy to get rid of bloating is hing. If you take some amount of hing and coconut oil, mix it together and rub it all over your belly, naturally the bloat will come down. So if it is coming down, that means you don't have a belly fat, it's just a bloat. Okay, so you can try this remedy. And if your belly fat looks as if your stomach look coming up and down, you may not have belly fat. It would be more of gas production, so you may want to add probiotics. Okay, and a natural remedy, as I said, you can mix some hing in coconut oil and apply it on your belly.
Super, thank you for that remedy. There's another question. It's a little elaborate. I'm 5'10", was about 50 kgs in March, and I've lost weight. So I'm 67 now as of August, with a waist of 32.5. But since then, I seem to have plateaued. My processed sugar and fried intake has been minimum, like one meal a day. I burn 750 calories in a day and on an average, but the belly fat is not reducing.
Okay.
I also wanted to add that I've become lean overall, almost a little more than I would have liked, but not on my belly.
Okay. So for you, of course, belly fat is a very stubborn fat. Sometimes it comes very quickly, but takes a very long time to go. So as I said, you may want to focus on that area as much as possible. So, Kapalbhati, of course, I would ask you to try. Since you've plateaued with your weight as well, you should be doing intermittent fasting. Just for a change, you should be doing intermittent fasting. Add lot of vegetables in your diet in terms of, vegetable juice, subsies in your gravies as much as possible, because that will naturally activate your liver. Even cruciferous vegetables are very good for you. So, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. In cooked form, you can do add it on a regular basis, because it activates the liver, and that will also help in terms of fat metabolism, bringing down the plateau that you've achieved, and at the same time accompany it with belly fat and just continue with your workout. Everybody, if they're in the journey of weight loss or fat loss, they at some point they can get plateaued at one point, but this is the time they have to push harder. So keep doing what you're doing, but at the same time you can start intermittent fasting as well.
Okay, thanks for sharing that, Ambrosia. Another question is, can a person with diabetes reduce the belly fat uh, if he's been diabetic for 10 years? And
He can.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He can reduce, but of course, see, if if the belly fat is been there with you for about 10 years or so, you can't expect it to go within to 1 month or 2 months time. You have to give at least that much amount of time for letting it go. And as I said, if you do all these remedies along with a very balanced meal, a very balanced meal, when I say your protein carbs has to be balanced. If you're doing all that, you're sleeping right, you're exercising well, automatically your belly fat is going to come down. It is possible. If you're asking me, is it possible? It is possible. All you got to do is put some efforts in there.
Okay, and be patient. Because we're looking at this person who's over 50, so it would take a little while.
Right, right, right.
Okay. If you could please repeat the coconut oil and prebiotics that you mentioned, Ambrosia.
Yeah. So when I was talking about the metabolic activators, I also mentioned about coconut oil. Coconut oil, because it has MCTs, which are readily absorbed from your gut itself to provide you energy. It doesn't have to go into your liver to active, to get metabolized. So it's an instant energy that your body will get, which is very good. So add coconut oil. And the reason I was telling add these healthy fat, it is because it helps in absorption of your vitamins. Especially the fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, K will be absorbed better in a fatty medium. And fatty medium, like a good fat, the coconut oil is there, ghee is there, flaxseed oil is there. So the oil which are very healthy in nature can be added on a regular basis so that the absorption of the right nutrients is better. So yeah.
Okay. What about belly fat for women who have recently had children? So there is this person who's had delivered a baby 7 years ago,
Mhm.
but she's unable to get rid of the belly fat.
Okay, okay. Same, I would recommend her to do two things. One is the Kapalbhati, and if she can get into yoga, because that will naturally help in terms of strengthening her entire core muscles. So get into yoga as much as possible. Get into different types of breathing practices also, because that will also help. And of course, whatever I've mentioned in terms of metabolic activators, you can try that on a regular basis and see if that helps you.
Okay. Um, what about lower belly fat pouch? How can that be reduced? And how long would it take approximately?
It is a part of the belly, right? So it will take time. If it's taken you for like 10 years, 12 years to develop that, it will take time, but you have to start somewhere. And if you're looking a point where and what to start with a physical activity first, because that's the best thing you can do in terms of activating and increasing circulation in that area. Then look into these metabolic activators. So first get the basics right, wherein you're eating well, you're adding regular exercise, and then you're being very mindful while eating. And after you've done all that things, then look into metabolic activity.
All right. There's another question on whether belly fat affects fertility.
To some extent, yes, it can affect. It depends how big is the belly as well. If you have like a tiny pond which is just recently developed, it is not a problem. But if it is there for a long period of time and if your overall fat percentage is also high, the visceral fat mainly, the fat around your organs is very high, it can affect fertility.
Okay. Can I break my intermittent fast with coconut oil, as I hear that fat first thing in the morning helps to burn belly fat? Is that true?
Uh, See, it is a metabolic activator, so coconut oil will help. You can have it, as soon as you wake up, and if you want to open the fast with a glass of lemon water or something, it's absolutely fine. It will give you instant energy also, so nothing wrong in that. So you can do that.
Okay. Um, having Hashimoto's thyroiditis, is it difficult to reduce belly fat?
Not really. It is, for example, again, you have to focus on, because because if you have Hashimoto's, that means your thyroid is hypothyroid, right? So your thyroid is already functioning at a lower level, right? So you need to activate it as much as possible. So for you, I would say specifically along with Kapalbhati, do Ujjayi breathing, because Ujjayi breathing helps in terms of activating your thyroid gland, and then you can do other things as well. Okay, so a combination of Kapalbhati, Ujjayi, and all these things that we've mentioned in the topic today, you can look into that, and it will help in terms of cutting down your belly fat.
Excellent, super. Thanks so much for that, Ambrosia. There's another question on what's the best time to have apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar, you can have it in the morning. You can have it in your pre-meal time, which is 30 to 1 hour before your lunch time and your dinner time. So it's very good to have it in pre-meal time, or you can have it in the morning time as well.
Okay, and how should they consume it?
You can take anywhere between 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon in 1 glass of water, dilute it well in 1 glass of water, and then you can drink it. That's about it.
Okay.
Just remember about apple cider vinegar, it has to be with mother culture. So there are many refined, apple cider vinegar. Don't use that. Use the unrefined one, unprocessed one with the culture.
Okay, okay. Is it okay to apply oil on the belly on a daily basis?
You can apply it. If you have issues with bloating or something very particular, you can actually mix in hing in it or ajwain oil in it, and then put it in on your belly. It will help in terms of cutting down the bloat and all. So there's nothing wrong with it. You can do it.
Okay. There's another question on um, if you can lose weight or belly fat after C-section delivery.
You can, because see, once you, even after C-section, your body will you will be breastfeeding the child, right? So when you start breastfeeding, automatically your belly will start contracting. Okay, so eventually, even after, whether it's a normal delivery or a regular delivery, eventually your belly will come down.
Okay. I think we have time for one last question, Ambrosia.
Yeah.
Is it okay to take immunity tea with tulsi leaves and home spices first thing in the morning after a 14 hours fast to reduce belly?
I am not too sure what the immunity tea is. It the immunity powder? If you're taking the immunity powder, you can have it. There's no problem. But start your day with something more alkalizing. See, if you're done intermittent fasting or something, you may want to start your day with something which gives you instant energy. So, coconut oil, a piece of dates, some nuts, a serving of fruit with fresh lemon water is something you want to start with if you want to open your fast. But if it's a regular day and if you want to start with an immunity tea which has tulsi and the immunity powder as well, you can do that on a regular day.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ambrosia, for taking the time and explaining all these important details to us, especially with regards to losing belly fat in terms of from breathing to superfoods that we could consume. It's been a great session so far, and we will definitely post the recording on your Instagram handle. So if there are a few of us who still have questions, we can reach out to Ambrosia on her Instagram handle, which is ambrosia.syed. And I'm sure she'll be happy to answer any questions we might have.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina.